Ashur is finally here, so let's talk a little bit about if it's worth pulling for her or not and how she fits on the current depressed meta. Before we talk about her, also important, obviously, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, Ashur, first impressions, but this is a first impressions video. This is not the full review, this is just after a bit of testing on day one when she was released. 200 pulls! And I didn't get a single copy. I had to ticket 2 copies to get her 2 4 stars. And then I will be talking about the new card tomorrow when I make a video on Picora, right? On the should you pull video for Picora, we'll talk about her card because this is a video for Ashur and this card is for Picora. For some reason, Ashur is not getting anything. That said, let's talk a little bit about the new depressed girl. The press keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. When it comes to Ashur TLDR, if you don't want to watch the whole video, okay, right now, I am leaning towards putting her on a T1, T2 most likely. She feels like a good character, but she doesn't feel as strong as Kidian or Shion. In fact, even Blanchett feels just pure damage. She feels better, but she's feeling a really good gap on the current depressed team. So most likely a T2 character, but we'll see. This is just me talking after testing a little bit, so do not take that too seriously. That said, we can talk a little bit about how, where she is right now, how her skills are working, and then we'll go into damage number comparisons, how to properly build her, the current team for the press, etc. So for some reference, mine is 520k combat power, level 103. She is level 8 gear, non-enhanced. The skills are at 10, 10, 10. And her first board is only the big notes taken. So you can obviously get more damage if you are getting the second board and part of that turn. Also, the worst part about Ashur, how would you want to say it? A-club wise, not even worth. If you were considering her because maybe she had some good resources, this is trash, bro. It's literally fish, chocolate, and the sub. So not worth when it comes to the A-club resources, right? But when it comes to a character and her own damage output, is decent. Let's talk about her skills first. So this wasn't changed much from the Korean side. Basically, her freshman skill will shoot 6 bans, dealing magical damage. This is a great skill because since it's multi-hit, you can use something like the Blanchett item on her, and she will be able to proc multiple stacks. Her senior skill is pretty similar. Okay, she's gonna be throwing a giant ban. And then if there are enemies close to whoever you are damaging, it will also bounce to those enemies, deal more damage, and stun all of those enemies that it's hitting. So basically a nice damage multiplier with a 3-second stun, which is welcome. And then her passive, which is a 50-50. So when her HP drops at 50% or below, cast a shield on herself. The problem with the passive is that the cooldown does not go down. So even at max level, we're talking about the 68% of max HP shield, which is great. It's like using a harness item max out. But it's a 25-second cooldown for her passive to proc again. So on some bosses, on some raids, this might have usage. For example, when we're talking about some of the raids and some of the ghost enemies that target your backline, those annoying characters, that's going to be great for her, right? But outside of those situations, it's not the passive that really has priority. I would prioritize her freshman and senior skills way before the passive. And then her normal attack is still the same thing. It does apply a Scorch both on her basic and her enhanced version, which is also going to be bouncing to different enemies and applying even more damage over time. It's a pretty nice normal attack. I haven't tested Ring of Greed on her, and I'll show what items I was testing, but so far, she seems to be scaling just overall way better with attack and magic damage. So, that said, out of the way, let's talk a little bit about damage number. We've been testing on dig side, okay? So, dig side, normal, just in there, just been testing a little bit. And if we go into Figma, we have a lot of damage number comparisons to go through. A TLDR, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, she is around the same level as Blanchett when it comes to DPS. She's not outperforming by that much the other girls. So giving her always 2 or 3 items and not giving the other girls anything, right? So for example here, Ashur getting 2 items. She was doing 17 mil while Blanchett, no items, was doing 12 mil already. And Shion, no items, and not even rank 8 gear, 8.9, right? So not fantastic, but it's not awful. And then with Yomi, it's Yomi. We don't even talk about Yomi because what a stupid character, to be honest. Then here with the Dragonlight Sword and the Jet Codex, she was doing 18 million. Once again, Blanchett decently close with Shion, not that much of a difference. Then I gave her double J Codex and Blanchett. So J Codex is not bad for her, but she will just scale better overall with pure attack, okay? Like double J Codex, only 1 more million than using 1 Dragon Light and 1 J Codex, wasn't that good. Then here she had a J Codex, 1 Dragon Light, and the Blanchett Bochet, and she was doing almost 30 million, pretty nice. Here, Jomi, it's no comments on the damage. And as you can see, if you put the cake, it's pretty good for her. She was doing 25 here, but Blanchett, no items, 13 million, no items, 7 million. It's not a huge discrepancy, just like you see all the time on Jomi, right? Jomi is a character that clearly it's an hyper carry. Well, Jomi is everything. Jomi can do whatever she wants to do, I guess. But it's a character that, even if you're trying to give her the best items, can't really have a higher ceiling number than what Blanchett can have, Shion or Killian can have, right? Things like that. And then on this last one, there is no picture, but she had a Dragon Light Sword, a J Codex, and a cake. All 3 of those, and she was doing 30 million. So, again, her damage, it's nice. It's not awful, but if I had to still give a priority to like the DPSs when it comes to the press, it's still Killian and Shion, the ones that are going to be carried. Okay, it's Jomi, but after the Jomi, it's going to be Killian and Shion, the ones that can carry you in terms of pure damage output. But she's providing more stuff. She's providing the utility with the stun. She's providing AoE damage. She's a really good character if you have to apply debuffs, like for example, with the previous card we got with the Blanchett Bouquet, because this is up to 9 stacks and she will apply 6 stacks every single time with her freshman, right? So for things like that, she's a pretty good character. And not only that, for raids, she's also filling a really good gap. So for the current raids, as all of you know, we are running 8 characters that are depressed, but we still are missing one. So if I go to guides and I go into the team builder right here, this is, for the most part, the current team we are running. The problem on this, however, is that as you can see, we are running Meluna, which is, well, not the depressed character. So now, finally, you can actually run a proper full 9-team composition being depressed, right? You will be able to push your Ashur here, and now you have a full team. So for raids, this is already way better. The increase in damage you are getting from running 9 characters or 8. 9 characters is 53% damage and HP, 1 less is 120. That is already huge, and her kit is also pretty decent. So we're getting a good character that can fit into a raid team while increasing your damage for everyone else by a lot. So in that regard, zero complaints. I think she's a pretty good character. If you're not building a depressed team, I would not pull for her. Just like every character in Trickcal, okay? Literally every character in this game. If you're not pulling or building that specific personality, there is no reason to build that team. That said, let's talk a little bit about items and what is benefiting her the most so far. Anything magic damage, anything attack is working on her. This is working on her because the RP cake for any magic damage dealer is fantastic. Dragon Light Sword obviously is good on her. Blanchett Bouquet is pretty good because of the stacks, because you can really stack this pretty fast. And then Mithril Knife, your usual Moonflower if you want to put that, Elena's Drone, Sword and Staff. Most of those good items will work on her. J Codex, I want to test more to see if it's actually worth bringing it or not. But if you have it maxed out, it's worth it just for the 50% extra attack. Just for that, it's always going to be a good item, right? But that's what is working the best on her. I have not tested, and I will test later, the Ring of Greed for her Scorch damage. This might actually work on her, but again, I haven't tested, so that's an incognito more than anything. Like I said earlier, I don't want to say anything about Pikora's card. I'll talk about that tomorrow on a separate video. But when it comes to Ashur, a pretty nice character that is finally finishing the depressed team. Surely the next banner will be Innocent, right, Epic? Enough jumping. We're live every single day. Link in the description down below. Any questions you guys might have, feel free to leave a comment down below. Good luck with your pool, the internet. I'll see you in the next one.